Someone's ready to talk about insurance.
My name is Callaghan Keane. As you can see, that is my 320 public adjuster's license. As of last Friday, I've had it for 2 years, and I love my job. Next slide, please. A little bit about me. Born and raised here in St. Petersburg, to 11 family. Went to St. Jude's and St. Pete Catholic. Graduated from St. Pete Catholic in 2013. Went to Florida State University. Graduated from there 2017 with a degree in philosophy and editing, writing, and media. After that, I came back to St. Pete and ended up with this job. It's been awesome. And I'm also a DJ, so that's like a side hustle that I'm not going to talk about. But you know, it's fun. I love to do it. So what is a public adjuster? So when you file an insurance claim on your home, the insurance company is going to send out their adjuster. Their adjuster is acting in the best interest of the insurance company. And so I, on the other hand, act in the best interest of the homeowner. And as you can see in the chart on the right, your claim is going to get paid out on average a lot higher, over 700% more, according to this study, if you have a public adjuster on your side. So why am I a public adjuster? Well, there's a lot of people who need help, especially after Hurricane Ian. You know, there's a lot of people who are displaced from their homes, people who have lost everything, and you know, the insurance companies don't always act right. And so those people need help, and I enjoy giving those people help. It's a job that requires a lot of arguing, which I love. I can thank my dad for that. He's in the bottom right corner. He was an attorney for over 30 years in St. Pete, and you know, that's what he did. He was an advocate for people. And so I enjoy doing that because I studied philosophy. I like reading insurance policies and figuring out how I can help to the best of my ability. And also I get to work with family. I work with my brother and like 6 of my cousins, so that's pretty awesome. Next slide, please. So why hire me? Well, I've been doing it for 2 years. My company has been around for 16, and we have a recipe for success with handling insurance claims. We're the largest firm in the state, and you know, we're backed by an office staff of like 30 people, and we have 60 to 70 adjusters across the state of Florida. A lot of experience. I myself am IICRC certified in both water and mold remediation. Nathan can attest that is very valuable knowledge to have when it comes to handling insurance claims. I also write most of my own estimates. I'm trained in Xactimate, which is the software that we use. And if I can't get to it, we have a dedicated team of experts who knows how to write estimates. Next slide, please. All right, so now I'm going to shift gears a little bit. Rather than talk about how successful I am, how successful my company is, or the company I work for, we're going to shift gears and talk about you guys. So what is in your policy? On the left, there's a small list. You can't really read it, but do you know what type of policy you have? You can either have HO1, HO2, HO3, HO4, HO5, HO6, HO7, HO8. Raise your hand if you know out of those types of policies which one you have.
You're cute, but I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, so most people don't. You know, Wes obviously knows. He probably knows more about your policies than you do. And it's important to know what's in your policy because it sets the stage for how your claim is going to play out. So the most common is HO3. I would say most of you probably have that one. If it's a house that you own but you're renting out, it's probably DP3 or DP1. But each of these different types of policies have different areas of coverage and types of coverage that they provide. And it's important to sit down with your what's in it. Open perils versus named perils. Always go for open peril, because the difference between the two is that the named peril policy, actually, let's back up. What is a peril?
Thank you.
A peril is basically another word for a cause of loss. So, hurricane, lightning, fire, water, all of those are different things that can cause damage to your home. So, named peril policy is one that will name each peril that is covered under your policy. If it's not written into the policy, then you're not going to get money for it. Open peril, on the other hand, if it's not specifically excluded in the policy, then you're covered. So very important to know that distinction. Next slide, please. This is why it's important. This is a client I had, or almost had this year. I wasn't able to help them because they had a tornado come through and destroy their house. It was a total loss. It tore the roof off, and water came in and just destroyed everything. Circled in red there is this is actually a screenshot of their policy. It's an exclusion to the roof. So, policies can not only exclude different areas of coverage, but it can also exclude parts of your building. So, this was a older couple. Husband was blind. Wife had Alzheimer's. And so, they were taken advantage of by their union. That's why it's so important that you get with someone like Wes, someone who actually cares about you and about your well-being. Because these guys were paying $8,000 a year for a policy that didn't cover their roof. And so a tornado came through, destroyed their home, and they were left with nothing. Claim was denied. Next slide. Common red flags in your policy, things to look out for. $10,000 water limits. If a plumbing leak occurs in your house and floods the whole thing, you're going to need a lot more than $10,000 to cover that. And it's a very common provision in policies that I see all the time, and people don't know that they're there. Actual cash value. It means that you are getting paid for not replacement costs, but basically what the value of your home is right now. So if it's an older home, they're going to subtract that depreciation, and you're not going to get that depreciation back through the repairs. Other things, right to repair means the carrier can choose their contractor. You don't get to choose your own. Ordinance and law means that if your structure needs to be brought up to code, you get paid for that if that's in your policy. Last one is pretty self-explanatory, exclusion of wind or hail or higher deductible for those. Next slide, how to refer me. Just, send me to anyone who's having trouble with their insurance company. Or anyone who thinks that they might have damage and want a free inspection and policy review, send them my way. I'm happy to help, and I hope that, those last few slides were helpful to you and can, keep your eyes open with what's in your policy. Thank you.
Callaghan, I want to apologize for the dogs losing it when he came out here. But it's important to see. She's gonna airdrop it.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. It's an important thing to see and think. How things can change. It looks really, really good. All the dogs sitting over there quiet. Callaghan comes up, suddenly you have some whining going on, dogs melting down. Noelle's got a lot of, this is Noelle in the middle with me. She's got a lot of nervous issues. You're gonna hear from her mom and the other girls. So my name is Heather Tyack. I'm owner and operator of Everyday Canine Training. We've been in operation for 7 years. I've been training next month 18 years. I grew up in St. Pete. I'm born and raised here. And everybody probably sees a dog and says, "Woo, gonna do some tricks. We're gonna see some doggy tricks."
No.
Well, you'd be wrong, right? That's what I said wrong. You'd be very wrong. You'd be right and you'd be wrong, because part of the trick is to sit in the room with 60 people, new people coming in, and not lose it. As you can see, it's real life. It's not tricks where I train the dog, give it to you, and then you go home and you don't know what I did. You don't know the 5,000 repetitions it took to get here. And instead of me rambling on for a while, I'm gonna have the girls talk, because I talked about my sales funnel, and the biggest thing that I did was make a barrier between me and some crazy ass people. So, you can't get me on the phone. You can't get me to come to your house first. Do I like to do all those things? Absolutely. But I'm very empathetic, so you can get me on the phone for 3 hours talking about every dog you've ever had in your whole life and what they did, and honestly, it just doesn't matter. As much as I want to hear it, as much as I'm willing to hear it, it doesn't matter, because where we need to start is boring stuff that looks like we're not doing anything. So we have dog aggression, we have very nervous dogs, we have fearful dogs, we have overexcited dogs. You get all sorts of different pieces with it. So Moki brings comfort to Noelle. So Noelle will be freaking out somewhere, and then she'll get with the pack, and then she'll calm down a little bit. So it's really interesting to see what she's capable of when she has some support. And I think that goes a long way with humans too. And that's why the community is the way it is. Alex, do you want to stay a little bit? This is Alex and her dog Noelle.
Yeah, so Noelle's my dog. I adopted her about 2 years ago from the Humane Society of Tampa Bay, and she was a 4-month-old puppy. So I was like, great, I'm gonna get a puppy, gonna train her from beginning to end. She's gonna be the best dog ever. Well, about 2 months into having her, out of nowhere, this fear and anxiety just started spiraling out of control. And we were working with trainers. I was doing everything I could read on the internet to try to get her out of this fear and anxiety, and it just kept getting worse, worse, worse. And it got to the point where I was like, I don't know how to get this dog better. I've exhausted every option. I've worked with 3 different trainers at this point, and this dog is scared of the whole world. She's scared of strangers. She's scared to walk down my street. She would literally freeze in terror standing on the side of the street. So at that point, we went to my vet and got put on anxiety medication. And at that point, it helped us get over some hurdles, but she was still terrified of the world. You can see she's still a little nervous, but that's when we found Heather, and Heather's been helping us to build confidence in Noelle and find tools that help her get through situations like this. So this is horrifying for her to sit in a room full of 60 people. And so we started the morning with her in the kennel, because something about the barrier and being surrounded by the pack gives her confidence to make it through a situation. And now that she's settled in and she's realizing no one's here to hurt me, now she can kind of hang out in the middle and make it through okay. And we've worked on some other stuff to help her build her confidence, like taking buckets to busy streets and putting her meal in the bottom of the bucket, because food is her favorite thing in the world. So by sticking her head inside this bucket, she gets to do her favorite thing, but it makes her lower her guard and build up confidence, so the next time she's in that situation, it's not as terrifying.
I love it. And this is Kristen, and she's got the 2 shepherds, Koa and Bane. She's my first official admitted stalker from Facebook.
So this is Bane and Koa. Bane is 5, Koa is 2. And like Heather said, I found her kind of by stalking her social media. So sit. Good, down. Okay. So when I started, I was getting Koa as a puppy, but I had been following Heather on social media for about probably 5 or 6 months before I even got Koa. I thought Bane was perfect. I was just hoping to be able to find somebody that could help me navigate with 2 working dogs. And when I started, she was like, absolutely, bring Bane along. And I was like, oh, well, he's just there for kind of moral support. And what I ended up finding out was he has a lot of anxiety. So all of the whining that I thought was just attributed to German Shepherds was actually a lot of my fault. I spent probably like every minute of the day talking to him. I basically narrated his every move. He followed me everywhere. I thought that was awesome. And what I found was that created a lot of probably annoyance from him. But he was always looking for me to tell him what to do. I never gave him the option to make that choice himself. So this would have never happened laying down like this in a room here. He would be following everybody, trying to find who has a donut, and just whining the whole time. And now we can actually go places. I feel confident having both of them. I'm trying to think of what else. She's the noisier one, but she's actually a lot less anxious than him. She just is a little bit fear reactive of strangers, which is what we're kind of working on. I can't think, is there anything else?
Perfect.
Yeah, okay.
And this is Emily and her dog Riley, and she's one of our biggest advocates for the muzzle. Emily found us while she was walking Riley downtown, and we were taking a pack walk, so it's very random. Another second, she wouldn't have seen us.
Let's see if she can get out here and say hello. Sit. Yeah, so we stumbled upon Heather, meant to be. We were just walking by. I had moved here from New Mexico. Didn't know soul. I didn't realize how much the move really affect my dog. She became dog aggressive, people aggressive. So the muzzle, I think probably like a lot of people who don't know, there's like a lot of taboo about it, like your dog's dangerous, your dog's scary, it's gonna bite me, and Heather really does a great job of teaching it as just a tool to help you, and I feel more relaxed and can let my guard down a little bit and let her have interaction with dogs. And it goes to show her program, you know, working and doing it. I never would have thought she'd be able to be around a couple dogs here and people without shaking. She was nervous also, like Noelle. So yeah, she's definitely come a long way. We have a long way to go. And the fear of like someone telling you might have to put your dog down because they're aggressive. These are like our babies. I think we all can agree that. So it's really hard, and you're really looking to someone to help you, and people who just get it, like this group of people in this community that don't judge you, want to see your dog succeed as equal as you. We're all a family here. So yeah.
Thank you, guys. This is us. This was, I thought, the best way to show you what my ideal client is. They're all professionals. They all care about their dogs. They're not trying to leave me with their dog. And they're just good people. They're all in. So thank you, guys. I'm Heather Tyack, the Canine Trainer.